You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Changes begin this morning on an intersection where two high school students were killed last month. We'll have a live preview from eastern Manatee County. Another state passed a law on net neutrality, and the federal government promptly appealed it. We'll tell you where. And the latest on the FBI investigation into Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. And good morning, early risers. It is 5 o'clock on Monday morning. Glad you're with us. I'm Ray Collins. Stephanie Webb is off today. John Scalzi now has a preview of your Monday forecast. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Ray. So we are looking at a little trough of low pressure located just to our north, and it's producing some cloud cover. But for us, we're quiet around here. We hardly have a cloud in the sky. It'll be a beautiful start to the morning. Plenty of sunshine around and not a drop of rain falling today, or at least this morning. As we head into the afternoon, we have a slight chance of seeing some showers build. Coming in on an easterly wind flow from the other coast. Temperatures are generally speaking running above average both for mornings and for daytime highs. That'll be true right straight through the next 7 days, it looks like. 75 Wauchula, Mayaca, 75 Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton at 75, so Sarasota. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the roads right now. There's the scene right now in Manatee County. A little bit of buildup there on State Road 70 in the eastbound lane as you head toward 301. Otherwise, pretty quiet so far right now in Manatee County. Checking farther south, here's the scene in the upper half of Sarasota County. A little buildup there on the Bayfront. Not exactly in the red quite yet, so to speak, but some congestion as you travel from the Ringling Causeway toward the 41-301 split. Not sure why at this point of the morning. And then farther south, here's the scene in South County. So far, so good. We'll check back in 15 minutes here on Good Morning Suncoast. Happening today, construction begins this morning on a controversial intersection in eastern Manatee County. The issue is at State Road 64 at Pope Road, the same spot where two Lakewood Ranch High School students were killed a few weekends ago. Our Marla Spence is live there as a preview now outside Greyhawk Landing subdivision. Marla, good morning.
Hey, Ray, after several crashes and the death of two Lakewood Ranch High School students, neighbors in this area have been constantly pleading for changes to be done to the intersection here at State Road 64 and Pope Road. Now, the Florida Department of Transportation is planning on starting improvements this morning. Their focus is on safety. Now, improvements consist of temporarily closing the left turn from State Road 64 into Pope Road. That closure will most likely go into tomorrow. Now, FDOT is also beginning the process to move forward with a proposed permanent closure of the left turn into Pope Road until construction begins for a roundabout. Now, this is something that some people in this area are completely against. Neighbors for some time now tell us that they much rather have a street light, but FDOT tells us after evaluations and surveys of the road, a roundabout would be much more effective. FDOT also tells us they've done improvements in the past to improve safety in this area. They say that a directional median full of white cones was put in place, and they say before that being done, there were 19 crashes from February 2017 to this February, and then 6 months after that installation, there have been a total of 5 crashes. Reporting live in Lakewood Ranch, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. The city of Bradenton is cracking down on false alarm calls. City officials say it's costly and time-consuming and dangerous. They voted to revise their security alarm ordinance. The change will bring in an outside agency to check on false alarms before police are dispatched.
We've had 2 or 3 false alarms. It's usually our back door, people walking by, pulling on it. And, you know, obviously the company will call us, and by that time it's too late. They've already dispatched. It's frustrating that, you know, we can't do anything about it.
Now, the police chief there, Melanie Bevan, says most of the alarms they respond to, most are false alarms, and she says officers waste around 150 hours for every 500 false alarm calls.
That's obviously a lot of time, it's expense, and it's a dangerous thing.
The new ordinance takes effect within 30 to 45 days. A developing story, still no word on how a woman died or her identity after a UPS driver found her body Friday in Manatee County. The driver saw her body in a grassy area near 70th Street Court East and 13th Avenue East in Bradenton. Detectives are not releasing her name until her family is notified first. Investigators say she likely died before someone placed her body by the side of the road. If you can help solve this one, please call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. After a dramatic meeting on Friday, an FBI investigation is now fully underway into allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. As ABC's Emily Rao tells us now, another accuser is now turning over documents.
The FBI investigation into accusations against Brett Kavanaugh is officially underway, while lawyers for Christine Blasey Ford say so far agents have not spoken to her. The FBI has talked with Kavanaugh's second accuser, Deborah Ramirez, a Yale classmate who claims Kavanaugh exposed himself at a dorm party. A source tells ABC News Ramirez provided investigators with a list of witnesses. On 60 Minutes, Democrat Chris Coons and Republican Jeff Flake, who forced the investigation, agreeing,
if Judge Kavanaugh is shown to have lied to the committee, nomination's over?
Oh, yes. I would think so.
Investigators do not plan to interview Kavanaugh's classmates who contradict his testimony about his drinking.
Now, isn't that relevant given that there clearly was drinking going on, at least it's alleged at the party?
No, I think you're trying to portray him as a stumbling, bumbling drunk, gang rapist.
Overnight, a former college friend writing this letter in the New York Times saying, quote, in denying the possibility that he ever blacked out from drinking and in downplaying the degree and frequency of his drinking, Brett has not told the truth. Also not being questioned, Julie Swetnick, who claims in a sworn statement she witnessed a drunk Kavanaugh mistreat women at parties in high school. Kavanaugh strongly denies all allegations.
Senator Dianne Feinstein has now asked the FBI for the exact directions President Trump provided. The White House said over the weekend that the president is not micromanaging the investigation. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
California Governor Jerry Brown signed the nation's strictest net neutrality protections into law on Sunday, and the DOJ, the Department of Justice, that is, promptly responded with a lawsuit. The bill is approved by state lawmakers in September. The law will block internet service providers from slowing specific types of content or applications. The DOJ says the bill unlawfully imposed burdens on the federal government's deregulatory approach. California is now the third state to pass its own net neutrality regulations. We might find out as soon as today who will replace a local congressional candidate who suddenly passed away last week. April Freeman was running for the 17th congressional district seat, which includes the southern half of Sarasota County. The 54-year-old lived in Lee County. The cause of death is not yet clear. The Democratic Party will announce a replacement to run against Republican State Senator Greg Stubbe. And at this late date, Freeman's name will remain on the ballot. Election Day is 5 weeks from tomorrow. Looking ahead now, Northport Police will host a National Night Out event tomorrow night at 6 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. at Northport City Hall. It's an event that allows residents a chance to get to know police officers, first responders, and also get to know each other. Happening today, the city of Sarasota is offering free trees to residents. The city will deliver them directly to the residents' homes. This is the 4th community canopy tree giveaway for the city of Sarasota. Nearly 500 trees have been given out so far. For more information on how to get a tree for your yard in the city of Sarasota only now, go to our website at mysuncoast.com. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, why one actress is rallying behind Democrat Andrew Gillum's campaign for governor. And 21 new laws take effect today in Florida, how they could affect you. But first, at 5:09, here's a peek outside our studios, looking south back toward downtown Sarasota. As far as today's weather, here's John Scalzi.
So I think we're looking at a pretty quiet day, kind of like we saw over the weekend. Hot, little chance of rainfall, and temperatures climbing up into the 90s once again, well above average. Last month was a record breaker. I think this month might be as well. I haven't really checked any of the inclement weather boxes for your drive time forecast simply because I don't think it's going to be that big a deal, even though we may see an isolated storm on the drive home. I don't think there'll be that many around. Forecasts for all of the airport hubs serving Sarasota Bradenton International look pretty good this morning. The FAA not reporting any delays currently. We'll be right back with your weather.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps.
2, 3, 4.
Or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making a connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, a 75-degree air temperature currently and a dew point value at 74, so it still feels a little on the humid side out there, but the temperature, of course, is better than if it were hovering around the 80 mark. East-northeast wind coming in at about 7. Temperature and feels like temperature are exactly the same. As we head through the morning, we'll watch the temperatures rise pretty quickly. We'll have plenty of sunshine out there, so we will again today be on the warm side of average. No doubt about that. Topping it out near the 90-degree mark, we have only minimal chances of rainfall today. So not a lot of cooling showers around to break the heat as we head into the afternoon. Rain showers will be coming at us from the east. They'll be moving to the west. We'll be looking at about a 20% chance beginning around 3 p.m. and then carrying on till about 7 when everything will start to dissipate. Radar right now not showing much going on in our neck of the woods. Again, the effect of that easterly wind flow visible by the little bit of showery activity we got over on the other coast. Those gradually drifting across, they're going to work their way across the state. That's kind of the scenario each and every day for this week as well. We had that same thing last week. We'll see it again this week. We have some drier air still locked in place, though. That's indicated here by this tan colorization on the water vapor imagery, showing you where the swirls and motions are in the atmosphere and what's going on at the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. To the north of us, a little trough of low pressure producing a bit of more moisture there, but right across our area from east to west, this stream of dry air is in place. Now, tomorrow, we may see some of this moisture kind of try and swing by our area, this little slug of moisture. It'll be visible here as this kind of orange color. Here, redder is wetter. So as we go through time, that moisture kind of swings past us tomorrow, giving us the best rain chance in the next couple of days. Then drier air moves back in, and we look for dry conditions again to replace that slightly better rain chance. That's the way it's going to be all week long. Little bits of moisture will swing through the state, enhancing rainfall chances briefly before dry air returns. And most of this week will be a drier than average week, with perhaps accumulations of less than half an inch to an inch of rainfall all week long for most residents here on the Suncoast. High pressure just to our north, little trough of low pressure, a backdoor cold front, if you will, kind of in the dissipating stages, swings southward, kind of fades away as high pressure builds in. We continue on with this easterly wind, maybe shifting a little more northeasterly with time. And that's pretty much the way we stay all week long. Mostly sunny skies with only isolated storms, warm all straight through the week, and calm in the tropics as far as Florida is concerned. Now, we do have one issue out in the tropics, but it's, like I say, not a big deal for us here in Florida. There is colder air across the region. Northern Tier seeing temperatures in the 30s currently, so even some snowflakes up in Canada, but for us, we remain warm with temperatures in the 70s to start the day off and 90s to finish it off. Northeast wind coming in at about 5 to 10 today, shifting stronger to the east in the afternoon. A little bit of a shallow sea breeze building. 20% chance today. We'll go with 30% tomorrow. I guess we'll take whatever we can get. Drop it back down to 20% for several days. Again, little slugs of moisture come and go. Some days no rain chance like Friday, and otherwise temperatures staying warm all work week. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you, John. Checking the traffic right now. We do have an issue to talk to you about. 75 northbound, an accident right there at State Road 64, so be aware of that. It's not showing any residual delays quite yet, but there's an ongoing construction site there on the on and off ramps, and today the day starts with an issue at northbound 75 at 64. Otherwise clear in Manatee County. Checking farther south, here's the scene in Sarasota County, Clark Road westbound as you approach Beneva, otherwise not too bad. And then our final map to the south will indicate a problem there too, in fact. Let's click on that and find out more together. That is on Interstate 75. And now, ta-da, at exit 195, Laurel Road. Be aware of that issue, northbound 75 at Laurel Road. Otherwise, all clear as of 5:17 on your Monday morning. Florida's Democratic gubernatorial candidate is getting some high-profile help from actress Alyssa Milano. Reporter Amber Diaz explains.
I believe that we will win. She's a Hollywood actress with a strong voice, a voice for change, power, and women's rights.
We need to mobilize. We need to get out there.
Alyssa Milano, a mother of two, got the crowd going Saturday afternoon at an event supporting gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum, who believes health care is a right, not a privilege.
It is just so important to me to travel this country, this beautiful, amazing country, to support these candidates that I know are going to support women's rights and women's health care.
The event aimed to push people to the polls, but quickly turned into a women's movement.
This is even bigger than the Me Too movement.
In light of the Brett Kavanaugh hearing that was watched around the world, Milano and other female advocates talked about the woman's right to choose and to speak up when it comes to sexual assault.
Women are not going to stand by and be disbelieved. That the time for being treated as objects and being abused really at the hands of men is just over.
Milano, who was a key figure in starting the hashtag #MeToo movement, says her daughter has been her inspiration. Milano was also a victim of sexual assault.
A lot of my fight comes from her, wanting her to have a better time.
The event lasted a few hours. People talked about the 70s, during the times when abortion was not possible and when women didn't have a voice. Milano says the goal now is to show a younger generation of women that they matter and should support the people who put them first. This is her message.
You mean everything to this country. Your voice is valid. Your voice is important. No matter what happens to you, there will always be other women supporting you, and men, and there are good men in this world supporting them, and they have to stand up for their rights.
Now, Gillum is running against Republican Congressman Ron DeSantis of Jacksonville. Election day is 5 weeks from tomorrow. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, smartphones certainly changed our lives for positive and negative in some ways. What a new study suggests the damage cell phones can do to our furry friends. And later in the half hour, an unusual find in one North Carolina town. Details of this and much more on the way. It's 5:20 and you're watching Good Morning Suncoast.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
There's a mystery happening right now in a North Carolina neighborhood, and some residents call it sort of creepy. Look at this, baby dolls hanging from power lines on a side street. 2 pink dolls' latest discovery. City crews pulled them down. Someone has been stapling children's items to a telephone pole as well.
Lots of like little girls' skirts, like stapled, like tutus. It's not as bad as it was, but I mean, just having dolls hanging from a noose, I don't feel like it's a good, warm, fuzzy feeling.
Safe to say, another resident there filed a complaint to the city. Defacement of city property is considered vandalism. Well, this might sound familiar. Facebook facing a massive fine, possibly, for a data breach. Details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Facebook is facing a big possible fine.
It follows the data breach that compromised more than 50 million accounts. European regulators want to know if the company's reaction to the breach violated new privacy laws. A potential fine could be more than $1.6 billion.
The internet's long stretch of growth may finally be slowing down.
A new study shows 89% of people use the internet and 77% use smartphones, but that number remains unchanged since 2016. The plateau is contributed to there not being many non-users left.
And your smartphone may be making your dog depressed.
Researchers in the UK say excess screen time may cause your dog anxiety. The study says dogs read body language, eye contact, and facial expressions. And if we're on our phones, dogs think that we're not interested.
So it is like your spouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Your significant other.
We like attention, Candace.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Walgreens.
This flu season, protect yourself. And your sister-in-laws, tennis partners, chatty co-workers, youngest daughters, entire judo class. One shot can make a world of difference. Walgreens has specially trained pharmacists that know which flu shot is right for you. Protecting the world, over 60 million flu shots and counting, starts with protecting yours. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
George woke up in pain, but he has plans today. So he took a leave. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the strength to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just one pill. Aleve, all day strong.
With Advil Liquid Gels, you'll ask, what bad shoulder? What headache? Advil is relief that's fast, strength that lasts. You'll ask, what pain? With Advil Liquid Gels.
The final 2018 Accord clearance is now during our model year-end clearance sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for new Accords. All on clearance this week at your local Honda dealer.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. We're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. so much fun. Mwah.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Starting today, 21 new laws take effect across Florida. How one will affect first responders. 1 year later, we'll tell you what's planned tonight at 10:01 p.m. in Las Vegas.
Well, I was really scared because it was shocking.
And a hospital mixes up a baby in a Florida hospital. The new mother is now talking to a lawyer. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast. And good morning, first day of October. I'm Ray Collins. Stephanie Webb is off today. Hope you had a great weekend. As far as the forecast for today goes, here's meteorologist John Scosi.
Yeah, so we're looking at another day with warm conditions and lots of sunshine. Not much changes there. We have some cloud cover to the north of us. That's a backdoor cold front that's basically falling apart, but it is producing some showers up around the Jacksonville area. Not a lot for us, however. We are looking at mostly sunny conditions once dawn breaks here on the Suncoast, boosting our temperatures rapidly up into the 80s from where they are now. Not much in the way of rainfall across our region, with temperatures currently in the 70s everywhere, mid-70s in inland areas, upper 70s close to the coast, and we have across the region about a 20%, that's it, chance of showers later in the day. Complete forecast in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the road, still an ongoing issue to talk to you about there at Interstate 75 northbound. At the exit, an accident there already. No residual backup, though, appearing, so you can still get through no problem. That might change if the two cars remain there as the morning commute picks up. Otherwise, you'll see a little problem there on 15th Street East, northbound, as you're heading toward downtown Bradenton. Farther south, here's the scene in the northern half of Sarasota County. Some congestion along the Sarasota Bayfront from the Ringling Causeway all the way wrapped around there to the 41-301 split. And then our final map to the south will indicate nothing to speak of. I'm told now that that icon on 75 is actually a holdover from yesterday, and we're still showing it. 5:31 right now on your Monday morning. Happening today, among the 21 new laws that take effect in Florida today, harsher penalties on animal abusers and also increased sanctions for those who cause problems at airports. Now, as ABC 7's Erica Jackson shows us, another new law will make it easier for our first responders to get the help they need.
In our most vulnerable moments, we look to our first responders to keep us safe.
When people are running out of a bad situation, we depend on them to run into that bad situation.
But even after they return to their post, some first responders hold on to emotional trauma for years.
If somebody's, feeling suicidal, how can they be effective on the job?
1/3 of Mary Moonan's clients are first responders, some dealing with PTSD. But starting Monday, some of those patients will be eligible for workers' compensation insurance benefits.
When somebody can't bring home their income and the family's already affected by their loved one's PTSD, the stressors pile up.
The new law covers firefighters, police officers, paramedics, EMTs, but some believe it's leaving out one important group: 911 dispatchers.
They're getting these calls, but they never know the end of the story, so they don't get any resolution to really know if their interventions were helpful.
But the law only covers first responders who have witnessed the death of a minor or a death involving serious bodily harm. Attorney Sarah Blackwell says first responders see a lot more trauma in the line of duty, which could trigger PTSD.
It should be broader and include more than just something related to a death of a child or a death that's egregious.
Now first responders will have better access to training on PTSD and can help reduce stress building up throughout their career.
The fact that they can actually get help gives me a lot of relief.
Reporting in Sarasota County, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
The Sarasota Police Department and Sarasota County Emergency Services also cover PTSD issues under employee assistance programs, which are separate from this new state law. Here are some other laws taking effect today, October 1st. One will allow people who want to buy guns to use credit cards to pay for background checks. Another allows deaf people to voluntarily identify themselves as hearing impaired when they register vehicles. And another will increase penalties for people who steal, wait for it, bee colonies. Those laws are now in effect. You can wake up and feel better today. Today marks the first anniversary of that deadly shooting rampage in Las Vegas. A year ago tonight, dozens were killed, hundreds injured when gunshots rang out during a country music festival. Reporter John Lawrence now shows us what the city has planned for tonight.
The mood in Las Vegas has been somber, yet hopeful over the past few days.
Hard to believe it's been a year.
Survivors of the 2017 shooting at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival have been gathering.
Standing stronger and standing together.
They are mourning those lost and trying to recover from that tragic night 1 year ago.
I need that comfort, I need that support, I need the love, which I get from here.
58 people were killed in what is the deadliest mass shooting incident committed by one person in modern U.S. history.
May the Lord look upon you with kindness.
On Sunday, an interfaith service on hope, healing, and transformation.
When I got the call last October, all I could think about is this is my city. This is our city. They need me, and I'm going in there to help.
The marquees along the legendary Las Vegas Strip are set to go dark Monday night to honor the victims.
It's very strange to miss 58 people you never met. I think about who they were, what they did. It's healing for me.
I just needed to be with people that understood what happened and what was going on.
Police say the shooter was found dead in his hotel room of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. No motive was ever confirmed. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
In Pennsylvania, a car explosion killed 3 people over the weekend in Allentown. This is what the scene looked like in Lehigh County. Police call it a criminal incident, not an accident. They believe the person who did this was probably one of the 3 men killed. They call it an isolated incident and nothing for the public to be concerned about. Autopsies will begin later on today. Dramatic new video now from a plane crash off the coast of Micronesia. A nearby team of U.S. Navy sailors raced to the wreckage and helped pull passengers from the 737. 1 man is still missing. 4 others are in critical condition. The cause of this is still under investigation. Companies headquartered in California can no longer have all-male corporate boards. A new law enacted Sunday requires all publicly traded firms in California to have at least 1 woman on their board of directors by the end of 2019. It is now required. Now, for 6 or more directors, at least 3 must be women by 2021. If companies don't follow this mandate, they will face a state penalty. Developing story here, the world's most famous soccer player is facing allegations of rape. A Las Vegas woman named Catherine Mayorga claims that Cristiano Ronaldo attacked her 9 years ago. She says he apologized, saying he was usually a gentleman. She says he and his associates made her sign a settlement and a non-disclosure agreement. She says they paid her $375,000 to keep quiet about it. Well, she's not doing it. The 34-year-old soccer player calls the whole thing fake news. Renegotiations on NAFTA have reached new terms now. Canada signed an agreement last night with the U.S. and Mexico. The deal allows greater U.S. access to Canada's dairy market and addresses Canadian concerns about the threat of U.S. auto tariffs. The deal is expected to be submitted to Congress later on today on Capitol Hill, and then a 60-day review period before President Trump can sign it. Now, during that time, Congress can also suggest changes and must approve any final trade deal. Look at this now. A Jacksonville mother is speaking out this morning after she says nurses mistakenly gave her the wrong newborn for breastfeeding. The nurses originally took her baby in for a circumcision, but half an hour later, she says she began to suspect something was wrong.
And then these 2 nurses walked in and they said that they took my child in another girl's room and they mistakenly thought that that was her child and not mine, and she ended up breastfeeding him for 2 minutes.
The mother was told the nurses didn't look at her son's wristband to see that there was a mix-up. She is now hoping the nurse who made the mistake is held accountable. She says her family is now talking with a lawyer. Looking ahead to Wednesday of this week, Sarasota Police will host Coffee with a Cop. It'll take place at Pastry Yard from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. It is free, open to the public. The department's goal is to build a stronger relationship with the community and also to drink coffee as well. Still ahead, the Florida Department of Transportation will make a big change to the State Road 64 area where there were several fatal crashes. Area neighbors say it's about time. We'll have a live preview from that scene. 5:39 right now. Here's a peek outside our windows, looking at the downtown skyline, all the new construction, the condos, some office buildings. Let's get the Monday forecast now from First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, it looks pretty good for us, I think, and we're going to be having a dry day today and a warm day once again. So for the school bus forecast, I don't see really a lot of issues here, except it's going to be hot. 77 degrees during pickup, mostly clear skies once dawn breaks, and we'll look for sunny skies on the trip home with 89 degrees. 10 out of 10 chance of an outside recess. Only an isolated shower possible. Mostly sunny and warm today. Complete forecast in just a few.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gettle Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gettle dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gettle location near you or visit Gettle.com.
Gettle's got it.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Cancer doesn't run in my family. That really was the farthest thing from my mind. I've been an athlete my whole life and I work in sports, so my mindset was just, let's fight. So our stories are all unique, so whatever you're going through, ask questions, get information and be involved. Don't ignore the signs, join the fight. I'm Tony Beasley and I'm a stage 2 colorectal cancer survivor.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at a 75-degree air temperature, east-northeast wind at about 7, and a dew-point value coming in at about 74 currently. It's a nice start to the day. We'll look for temperatures to steadily rise under the influence of plenty of sunshine today, up to about 87 by lunchtime. And then we'll be on our way to the 90s. Once again, 92 degrees yesterday for a daytime high. We'll be just about the same place again this afternoon. And with just about the same rain chance. Only isolated showers building later on today by 3 p.m. through about 7 p.m. About a 20% chance as these showers from the other coast work their way across the peninsula. Most of the rainfall will be located in the southern parts of the viewing area, but there's a chance at a scattered shower most anywhere, or an isolated shower, I should say. So we're not looking at much in the way of cloud cover across our region currently. It's pretty quiet out there. We had some showers to the north of us up around Jacksonville, and there is some cloud cover up there, and some of it may be pushed southward in the form of high, thin clouds. But for the most part, we have dry air all across central and south Florida today. This little trough of low pressure, this backdoor cold front, creating a little bit more moisture. That's what the turquoise colorizations are here. High moisture content air. Well, over our area we have these tan colors, which are an indication of dry air aloft at mid and upper levels, and that's sticking with us right straight through today and really for the next several days. Although tomorrow some of that moisture to the north of us up around the Jacksonville area could swing through, enhancing our rainfall chance tomorrow just a little bit. But then it's replaced once again by these cooler colors of dry air aloft. And that will be the case as we head into Wednesday. So this is how it will be this week. We'll get these little slugs, if you will, of moisture that'll quickly run past the atmosphere above us and bring us a little bit better rain chance on a particular day or two. But for the most part, all week long, we'll be bathed in a sea of drier air aloft, and that will really reduce our rain chances significantly this week. A high pressure located just off the mid-Atlantic coast, bringing most of the east coast of the United States quiet conditions till you get up into the northeast and around the Great Lakes, where this stalled frontal boundary separating the summer from the fall is producing some scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two. For us, this little trough of low pressure tries to swing by. It basically falls apart, but we're left with that little bit of moisture that will bring us that enhanced rainfall chance tomorrow. Enhanced, I mean a little bit better rainfall chance, I guess I should say. So high pressure brings us temperatures also that continue to rise above the average by about 4 degrees or so. And that easterly wind continues the same sort of motion of these storms that do form, driving them in from the east coast across our peninsula out into Gulf waters late in the day. Mostly sunny skies with only isolated storms. Warm all week long with about 4 degree above average temperatures. And then in the tropics, everything looks pretty quiet out there, so that's good news. There's nothing that really bothers us here in the state of Florida. We have one storm that's meandering out in the central Atlantic. Other than that, not much happening, and I'll talk about that storm in the next half hour. Northeast wind coming in at about 5 to 10 knots, turning to the east at about 5 to 10 later today, 2-foot seas, and a moderate chop on your bay and inland waters. Forecast shaping up like this today: about a 20% chance of rainfall. Tomorrow, with that little slug of moisture swinging by, we'll up to about 30%, but that's all. Then take it back down to 20% on Wednesday, and again a little bit more moisture on Thursday. Over the weekend, maybe Friday, not a drop of rain falls across the Suncoast. Saturday and Sunday, only, again, 20 or 30% chances. And the daytime high temperatures for most of this week, again, running well above average. Back to you, Ray.
All right, thank you, John. Here's the roads. Couple issues to talk to you about already. First off, 75 northbound, an ongoing issue there at the exit 220, State Road 64. That is a construction site right now, so not sure whether or not that's related to the ongoing confusion there. Checking farther south, now here's the scene at the upper half of Sarasota County. Some congestion along the bayfront as you take 41 southbound from the Ringling Bridge to the 41-301 split. Not too bad, though. It's in the orange, not the red. And then farther south, this is apparently a new accident. That's a lot like an accident yesterday. That's why there was some confusion earlier. It's at 75 northbound at exit 195 Laurel Road. So be aware of that. So far, it's not showing any delay, but we'll keep you posted in about 15 minutes here on Good Morning Suncoast. And speaking of traffic, happening today, construction begins this morning on a controversial intersection in eastern Manatee County. It's at State Road 64 at Pope Road, that same spot where 2 Lakewood Ranch High School students were killed last month. Our Marla Spence has a preview from the scene outside Greyhawk Landing subdivision. Marla?
Hey Ray, after several crashes and the death of 2 Lakewood Ranch High School students, neighbors in this area have been pleading for changes to be done to the intersection behind me on State Road 64 and Pope Road. Well, today changes will be starting, but not one that many residents hoped for. Now today, the Florida Department of Transportation is planning on starting work to improve safety in this area. Improvements consist of temporarily closing the left turning lane from State Road 64 onto Pope Road FDOT workers will be working on that intersection and adding improvements. Now, earlier this year, FDOT placed a directional median in the middle of the intersection to help reduce the number of crashes. And although the amount of crashes have gone down, neighbors are still pushing FDOT to make changes. Today, FDOT will be constructing more improvements to that intersection and to that median, and work will most likely go until tomorrow. Now, FDOT is also beginning the process to move forward with the proposed plan of a permanent closure of the left turning lane onto Pope Road until construction begins for a roundabout. Now, this is something some people in this area are against.
Tragedies keep happening, and since I again have lived here for over 13 years, we've had multitude of accidents that happen, from minor fender benders to serious ones, and something needs to give. We have to have FDOT and the county commissioners do something more. A roundabout's not going to cut it.
Now, this is what the roundabout will look like once completed. Construction will permanently close the left turn onto Pope Road. So far, there is no word yet on when that project will begin. And now neighbors say they would much rather a traffic signal light, but FDOT tells us after months of evaluations and surveys onto the intersection, a roundabout would be much more effective. Now, neighbors and residents in this area, they also tell us that they are simply tired of the crashes and the accidents in this area, and they are tired of this location and their neighborhood being a hot spot for memorials like these. Reporting live in Lakewood Ranch, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Police in Detroit are trying to figure out who vandalized a mural dedicated to the late Aretha Franklin. It was discovered over the weekend. Vandals climbed up on the cherry picker and used the paint to vandalize the mural. The artist is working now to fix it. That is in the city of Detroit. It is 5:51 right now. We'll have the day's top news headlines. One last talk with John Scalzi after this. Stay with us.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
The ABC 7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC 7 First Alert weather app today.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Welcome back. 5:54 right now on this Monday morning, October the 1st. Here are the headlines making news this morning. We might find out today who will replace April Freeman in the local race for Congress. The Democrat from Cape Coral died suddenly last week. Her replacement faces State Senator Greg Stubbe in the 17th Congressional District, which includes the southern half of Sarasota County. First day of October, 21 new laws take effect in Florida. One law gives extra help to police and first responders with post-traumatic stress disorder. And Fitzmagic might already be over. The Chicago Bears beat the Bucs yesterday 48-10. Quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick was pulled in favor of Jameis Winston, and the coach now says that Winston probably is the starting quarterback for the Bucs. Stay tuned. Next half hour, a mother whose 1-year-old daughter was found dead in the back of a car at a Central Florida gas station is now facing charges. And we'll show you a video that has gone viral. It shows 2 toddlers dressed up as Disney characters. We'll have those stories and much more next hour in the second hour of Good Morning Suncoast. First, one last talk to John Scalzi about today's weather.
Ray, thanks very much. So we are looking at a couple of things that will be with us all week long. That is warm and humid conditions with an easterly wind. Don't see much changes there. Dry this week, though, in terms of any kind of rain shower chances. They're minimal. We will see a few scattered showers around, but there won't be many of them. There'll be few and far between, and just not as much rain as we might normally expect. And so far, the tropics look quiet. There is one storm out in the central Atlantic, but it doesn't affect us. Right?
Thank you, John. Talk to you again soon. More news in about 2 minutes right here on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.